Buzuyama kwaba eba POG Media so na meda wase said da okay ho na yebo edi radwumadi a yenso ye de ba eba mabobo ano ede be so mo ye o my Ghana political stories na ede be so mo no mo so mo gina pepa so na me share let's all subscribe to POG Media any day call so abe drop subscription na wa share no for so ensa so etimi akabi no so hu de ekoso ewo my Ghana political space na yebo ede ani ewura yensem ma na chese yebo de ewura eye de minority leader Afenyo markings nsɛm bi a ɔno nso ɛde ato dwa ɛfa Pàíd Ndoum ɛne kwan a de Ken of Oriata ɛne Nana Addo and the former president of Ghana ɛnso ɛfa so Collàpsíng ne businesses a na kyerɛ ɔno nso ɛtwerɛ mo sɛ deɛ ɔmo yɛ no ɔmo nso ntumi anyɛ ne yie na ɔrekɔ way back brand of SHS na Pàíd Ndoum so tumi boa no ɛnyɛ ɔno anka wɔntumi mpo ɛnwie school abusua mɛ sɛ bɛgye brɛ ne abɔ ɛde rasa story with us.
You talk about the mass transport system. You talk about health insurance. These are major social intervention programs that help the economy, that change the lives of people. I always say that but for Pàíd Ndoum's bursary, I sitting here wouldn't have completed the SHS. And I know many of my classmates in Winneba who completed the BEC with
Pàíd
Ndoum, Dr. Pàíd Ndoum, in St. Augustine's final year. By the way, the parents of my friends supported my fees, year 1, year 2, and by year 3, things were bad. My mom was out of work, my stepdad had been demoted, he was at Pomazi Pottery, they were not being paid. He got demoted because of politics. They say he had followed Akuffo 96 elections, so he was demoted and transferred and made a watchman. From a mason foreman, he was sent to Akuffo. That's where Pomazi Pottery had some old machines, and he was sent there. So, and Pomazi Pottery business was going down, so they were not being paid. All right, so I was almost dropping out. But Ndoum brought his bursary and said anybody who will break his record, should get that bursary. And it was competition. So it wasn't even for a brilliant but poor child. So it was competition. And by the grace of God, I won it. I'm saying that, but for that, I would have dropped out of St. Augustine's College. And I know many of my colleagues who couldn't make it to secondary school. So for that free SHS, with all the criticism that there is and all that, many people today, you look for house helps, you look for a gardener in your home, and you ask him, he will tell you, I have SHS, I've completed SHS. It wasn't the case before. And many homes, poor and rich, have benefited. And we know that. Health, even in America today, the mighty United States, the mighty United Kingdom, in Europe, healthcare is a big deal. Healthcare is a big deal. Today, Ghana, if we get the structures right, we introduce health insurance. Many people who otherwise could not afford health care are benefiting from it.
I mean, this government is going to implement the free primary health care.
Well, I am on the back of what? Health insurance. On the back of the health insurance. Okay? Now, the school feeding.
No fee stress for year one in university.
The school feeding. The school feeding. Many homes. You may think that people can afford 3 square meals, but there are many homes that could not afford to feed their kids. Because of that, that child could not even go to school. Akuffo identified that and introduced it, and over a period, government after government, succeeded in sustaining that. The LEAP program, Livelihood Empowerment program, and then the free maternal care. All these were interventions that were introduced by the MPP stock. We are a center-right party, believing in a free market, believing in rule of law, believing in creating an opportunity for all. People say it's an elitist party. Yes, it will take an elitist party to create a social intervention program to create an elite class. If you introduce free SHS, you want many more people to become elite, to be educated, to have the capability to become employable. So I will not shy away from being told that I belong to an elite party. because it has the ideas, the value system to create an opportunity for many more to become elite, to create an opportunity for the private sector. These were the successes. However, I concede that we couldn't have created a perfect environment. So for me, with this in mind, I believe that if we sit together and brand the party and give assurances to the Ghanaian voter, the many who could not even vote or who were disappointed and did not vote, why? We have 41%. We have 87%. But I know of many of the seats that we lost with less than 1,000 votes.
But you think the party has learned the lessons? Do you see, you are in there. Have you seen enough among your colleagues to say that the party has learned the lessons and is ready to apply them?
It is not,
to rebrand.
It is not a one-day matter. Listen, running a political party... Don't worry.
Have you seen enough now at these early stages after the elections?
We've demonstrated our determination, not to the satisfaction of everybody, but from where I sit, I see that determination of the party machinery to move on and to transform and get certain things done. You see, we have an internal election ahead of us. This primaries ahead of us is a big deal, and I'm happy that we have 5 gentlemen of our stock, of their own rights, hard-working, determined. They've made their name in the party. So bold, courageous, to say that, look, we want to take the flag and bring you victory. That in itself tells me that the party has a future. A party that is not attractive will not have these gentlemen ready and competing for the top slots.
Why? I mean, 2 of them at least have tried before and failed. At least we've had Bawumia try before. He failed at the national elections, but he ran a primary the last time. Kennedy Pond too, say, Kwabena Depot have done it before. So these people who have always shown ambition.
Not necessarily ambition for personal gain, but ambition to use the party to serve the country. And for me, the fact that they remain that determined, that fire in their belly keeps burning, gives me assurance that there's hope for the party. Because you see, a party that has no future will not have people wasting their time to use its brand to serve at all. They would say they will go independent. So that in itself is a good start for us. By 31st January, we get done with this. A leader is chosen. Once that leader is chosen, manifesto committee will be set up. Then the proper rebranding starts, because whoever is chosen as a leader comes with his vision, a vision that will be interlocked with the vision of the party, our ideology, what we stand for. Then we set in motion the process.
In the meantime, though, let's come to Parliament on this subject. 63 of your colleagues in the minority last week held a press conference declaring for Bawumia. The others obviously means you have 87 now. It means others also belong to other camps. How are you managing the various positions taking, which often tend to divide rather than unite? And of course, you are the leader. You need all of them united for this fight that you're going to take on, considering your numbers already. How are you managing that?
I think so far, the MPs who have declared in one way or the other have been decent. Initially, my concern was how those who would declare openly will manage themselves. You recall that I came out openly to say that, look, let's be very neutral. And my good reason was that after the primaries, we, the leaders in Parliament, would have to do some legwork, do what I call the midnight walking, get people together here and there. Therefore, there will be, to make yourself a credible referee who would be trusted by various factions, it's better for you to stay neutral at least, not openly declare. Some disagreed. We are in a democracy. And for those who disagreed, they have chosen to go about their views decently. For me, that is commendable. And I will continue to encourage those who are showing faces that, look, I belong to Mr. A, Mr. B. Sell the message of your candidate. For me, as a leader, I cannot.
So you haven't taken a position?
No, I cannot publicly say I am going to campaign for this person.
So you haven't endorsed anybody?
I don't have to because of where I sit.
But you have a horse in the race?
I'm saying that I cannot
publicly, but privately.
Can we stay there? I cannot publicly.
But privately, you do have a horse in the race.
I have a role to play in the aftermath of the January 31st. All right? I played a major role in 2023. The dynamics haven't changed much. And where I sit, I see some work that will require a lot of energy after 31st January. So if I would have to play that role, show my hand openly, it will be difficult to be trusted when I am doing that, midnight walking. So at least I think it's appropriate for
and your deputies and other colleagues in leadership with you in Parliament, you expect them to also toe that line?
Well, I've made that point. Some have respectfully made their views known to me.
They did disagree with you?
And said that, leader, ordinarily I would be with you, but I would want to go this way, but I will be decent, which I've already said is good. Some have also said, leader, we think it's better to...
So like you already message over your poll like that's all subscribe to a POG political media as well. Any day and we'll go so I your post subscription. Now I share enough for so and so it's my catch media be no so the echo and the air banana oh my Ghana political a space in him now. Era a year Afenyo marking and so in the crepa and the two a simple so I will join is so not just on also a casse a year and year pack we see a year Ndoum a policy be on also be edema any SHS on also 8 benefit ya naka went me put fine real school or day a yes bo and so airbo a year nana do down kwa any ken for reata say Conféss also airba through a year SHS and as a high schools no a year policy ya naka also a daho with me boa for front almost let me collapsing in businesses and also by a hat so also bet me I regain any feet no also let me aboa for.
Oh, well, I think lately I've been watching Independence Ghana political engagement, and I noticed that the era 57 all the way through, even to the Second Republic, Third Republic, political leaders, businessmen were very traditional and cultural. And even recently going to Nigeria, ECOWAS Parliament, Nigerians love their culture and they allow it to manifest in their dressing. I'm not in a way saying that we shouldn't be wearing suits, but I believe that our culture identifies us, and one of the ways to depict that is through your dressing. It tells who you are, and it gives you that sense of pride. And I think I will be doing more often with this. I mean, we did well with the fugu, the wearing of fugu, but it looks as if the wearing of the kente and tuma papa, the wearing of the mama, is being relegated to...
You speak Ghana?
The one that we can survive with.
Okay, because the mama was well said.
Yeah, so that we don't have to wait for occasions. So in Parliament, a member should be proud to be wearing kente. I was thrilled. We're seeing my respected senior at the bar, Kwame Akuffo, wearing kente on a news file. it caught my attention that day, and I was touched.
Yeah.
That why are we not doing it? So I've planned to be doing more often, my kente, and I'm getting some nice GTP as well, to be wearing GTP 12 yards. It's who we are, you know. Akroma did well with it. Second Republic too, you see the parliamentarians, political leaders, businessmen, Third Republic. But it looks like the Fourth Republic, we only do it on occasions. And I think it should be an everyday thing, you know. So I want to be doing that often.
Okay, we're going to see you on the floor.
I want to be doing that often.
Okay.
And I encourage colleagues to do that often. I mean, it's also the Ministry of Tourism, you know, it will help them with the agenda of promoting Ghanaian culture. You know, this one is a typical Anlo dressing. You know, you have your jumper inside. The Akan one, you wear it bare-chested. So you mix it, and I think it's good.
Yeah.
And even our own language, when we can afford, we take the kids to international school and we speak English at home. That's also another problem we need to. That's
a good one. You know, there's actually a debate. There's a debate in the last few days about what language we should use as a primary means of communicating to the children in year 1 to year 3.
Yeah.
Your good friend, Haruna Drisu, had put it out there. You agree with him that that's just what the focus should be?
Yeah, we should. I mean, it helps. There's a whole alienation. Our kids, like the international schools in Ghana, I think I raised this thing in 2018 in Parliament, but nobody really listened. All the international schools in Ghana, we have diplomats coming in. They want to take something away from Ghana. None of the international schools has, as part of its teaching curriculum, having a Ghanaian language. At least the international schools should be encouraged, though they have their independence and all, but you know, they have to factor in our culture and say, look, pick a Ghanaian language so that the child would learn, especially those who come stay here 5 years as short-term diplomats, some international organizations, expatriates, bringing their kids here, staying in Ghana for 10 years and all. It would be a source of pride for that child himself or herself, growing up back home and saying that I lived in Ghana when I was a little boy for 10 years, 5 years, and I can speak Twi, I can speak Ga, I can speak Ewe, I can speak Hausa, I can speak Dagbani, I can speak Efutu. It helps to sell the country. So we should not look at it differently. And I pray that the respected Minister of Tourism will take this up seriously. It's something that we can do. You know, when we say investment, bringing investment to Ghana, it's not all about just waiting for a policy document and saying that bring your money here. People consider all manner of things before they decide that, okay, I'm taking my money to this particular destination. It's the way of life, the people, how they live, and the level of acceptability. All those things come to play that encourage people to say, okay, this is the right investment destination. So we should take it up. And Ghana is all we have, you know. Within the sub-region, we've really advanced. Today, the Ugandan opposition visited me, and the way they were talking about Ghana, I don't think we Ghanaians even talk about our country the way they see us. They're so happy to say, look, you guys have achieved so much for yourselves, and they are so proud of us, and say, look, they don't get that in their country. And within our own sub-region, Ghana is a heaven, you know. People want to come here. So it means that we have a lot more to achieve if we get the parameters right. I mean, get the little variables that can sell the country. If we get them right and we rally around it, we should get there. And we'll create jobs through that and create opportunities for our people.
Let me take you to Parliament, where you are the minority leader. You know, before you went for the recess, you had 88 minority members. You returned, now you have 87. That put in a bigger context of the NDC having 185 now. As I said at the beginning, there's no minority leader who has faced this dynamic before.
Correct.
How are you, when you sit back and reflect on it, do you feel overwhelmed?
Not at all. I'm not in any way worried about the numbers. Like I indicated in my opening remarks, it's about the substance.
We don't believe in numbers, we believe in substance.
Yes.
We'll confront you with substance.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But substance is not constitutional power. Constitutional power is in the numbers in Parliament. Two-thirds majority is where the power is.
Before the final destination, you need to demonstrate your weight. And for me, that is what enriches democracy. The state we find ourselves as a party, though a novel in a sense, in terms of the numbers, but in context, the situation has happened before. To the NDC, I draw a lot of inspiration from the Bagbin era NDC opposition. Look, this was a party that had its own roots in revolution. PNDC, military dictatorship, 11 years. They transitioned into democracy. So a total of 20 years, more or less. And the first time they lost power, total confusion. Bagbin was brought from obscurity, backbench or middle bench, made a leader. Akuffo enjoyed a huge goodwill. In 2001, nobody wanted to hear NDC. In fact, it was difficult for them to even appear on radio programs. But they put themselves together in the midst of the confusion, such that by 2004, they had managed to snatch back some of the very seats we are taking from them, like Ashaiman seat, like Ladadi Kotopon seat, and many others. They had momentum on their side because of the hard work, the determination of the Bagbin-led minority. Then by 2008, they surprised the nation. MPP perhaps thought all was well, we're going to have a walk in the park. Then Professor Mills, who had been written off, made a strong showing, pushed the election into round 2, and then by round 3, we're down. So for me, it tells me a story. I've been reading about the Hansard, watching videos, how they strategized. They were collective. They were determined. And as a politician, you should not be shy of your weakness. Look, you come into government, you have your success story, you have your failings.
What's your weakness?
We're not here to talk.
So come on about Addo&Ken Media. You say POG Media there about Ghana authentic political updates and the headlines are POG peso and I was about me a copy that will the echo and the air banana my Ghana political space. Now make sure to subscribe here and the equal so about your post subscription. Now watch saying off for so answer so it's me catch media you know so the echo and the air but bet me so slide into the comment section or now so wait me come on and afa Addo&Ken Media. That's it. So Jibre and my POG.